Hi there everyone and welcome back to the channel. Time for another Palace preview. The game obviously at the weekend is at home to Everton. Want to kick things off again apologising because again, frustratingly I'm working on Saturday, so I cannot be at the game, and I know that's another vlog missed, and I really apologise because it's been poor the last few weeks from me, but equally it's work, it's money, you know. What can I do there? So I apologise, but I'll do what I always do when I miss a vlog for whatever reason. I always try and upload a quick review of the game because I do get to either listen in or watch a bit on a live stream or something like that. I do get to see some action of the game or you know, at least listen into the game at some stages. So I'll do an instant review, or as quick as I can I'll put out a review after the game. But again, I apologise guys. But anyway, I want to put that out of the way. Let's focus on this preview now. Last week was probably one of my best previews I think I've ever done. I predicted us to lose against Arsenal, which I don't think's, you know, out of the ordinary at all. But more importantly, I think I predicted to a T what I thought Arsenal were going to do, and that's quite rare in my previews. I do get a little bit wrong. I get the lineups wrong most of the time for the opposition and things like that, but this time I think I got it spot on. I said Guendouzi and El Nini start in midfield. We got a chance. You've got to try and bully them. Start Chiarte. We did all of that, and Arsenal did that. And I said that, you know, this is a fantastic opportunity down the flanks as well, because they bomb forward if they play three at the back. Got to play two up top. I said playing one up top will be so easy to defend for them, even if Mustafi does play, and he did have a shocker, obviously. And what did we do? We played 4-4-2, and Wilf and Benteke up top, you know, rattled that defence all afternoon. So very, very happy that I got a lot right in that preview. So hopefully that carries on into this. Much more of a difficult challenge is a bit harsh on Arsenal, I think, but in terms of form right now, a difficult challenge in Everton. Just come off of a 4-0 against United. They're really starting to hit the ground running now under Silva. Tricky period midway through the season. You know, first half of the season was tricky for them. But now some of those players are starting to click. They're starting to play the way Silva wants, and it's really starting to see, you know, the way that they're attacking teams and creating chances. So they're definitely going to be a real threat, especially because our home form's been so poor as well. But equally, we've been on a good run of form, a fantastic result against Arsenal. It's a chance to carry this run of form going, and in our pursuit now, I think the goal has to be, there's always got to be goals at any stage of the season. We're mathematically safe, get in, but now the goal's got to be trying to get top 10. You know, West Ham are playing Spurs in a derby game, so that, you know, it's more than likely with the, you know, Spurs haven't sealed that top 4 spot. So I'm saying, and the way West Ham are playing, I think it's more than likely that West Ham lose that game, in my opinion. So I think that if that happens, of course, then it opens up the door for a top 10. You know, we can go above West Ham, I believe, with a win, and, you know, look upwards to Leicester and teams like that to try and break into that top 10, which would be amazing. Now, in terms of the setup, go exactly the same. It works so well. I want to see that sort of attacking fluidity at home. Can we try and attack teams? And, you know, I know the Palace ways to sit deep and counter-attack, and it's worked so well over the years for us. And breaking out that DNA, as we've seen with, like, Frank de Boer, for example, is a tricky thing to do, and it's not and no Palace fan would really recommend doing that. Just stick to what we know. But And I do think counter-attacking is a good way forward for us, for sure. But try and show a bit more when we're at home, in front of the fans. We've got one of the best home atmospheres in the league, and it doesn't look like the players kind of respond to that the way you'd expect them to, or to try and win the game you'd expect them to the way you expect them to, with the home form and the home advantage that we should have. So definitely stick with the 4-4-2. Some of our big results at home in the last few seasons have come when we played 4-4-2. Now there's a time and a place to play it, and I think that Everton the confidence they're on, will look to attack. They'll look to go forward. Players like Richarlison, Bernard down the flanks. You've obviously got Calvert-Lewin, who's a real handful up front, a top young player, and he's just, the way his energy, his work rate in terms of closing down and making runs, very tricky to defend against. And also, obviously, Sigurdsson, as we saw against United, you can't let him have any space outside the box. You've got to be on him closing down. Now, obviously, bearing that in mind, it's going to be a tough work job for the two in the centre midfield and the two centre-backs if we play a 4-4-2. But I think we can deal with it. I think that you've got to look then defensively, because Digne bombs forward a lot and he gets involved with the attacks, not a bit more suspect defensively, but he's had a fantastic season. You know, similar to Arsenal, there's places you can exploit down those flanks. And playing the 4-4-2 that we do, with Will occasionally drifting out wide as an extra winger, you got to look to do the same thing. I think play 4-4-2 is the route to go in this lineup. I don't think we should change it that much, to be honest. I know Van Arnold got dropped or put on the bench. Whether that's rested, I believe that was to rest him, but I think taking him out of the team was a fantastic decision because it gave him a kick up the arse, realised even though there's no left back now because Schlupp's injured, to challenge your position is under threat. And I think that was fantastic from Roy. It's what we've been calling for because Van Arnold's form has definitely dropped off since Christmas. So that was good to see. And Ward had a blinder at right back. I thought he played really well at left back. For a player who's not been in the team for a long time now, and he's still worked hard in training. He's still, he's just such a loyal servant to the club, and it's fantastic to see him to just drop in. And left back, he's lost any pace he had, and he managed to deal with all the threats that came his way. I thought that was fantastic to see. It meant a lot to me, and I'm sure it did to a lot of other Palace fans to see that sort of performance. And Scott Dan as well, centre back, having a blinder. You know, these players that have got us to this stage were massive in our promotion and first couple of seasons in the Premier League to getting us to this stage now where we're on a record run in the top division. So, for me, stay loyal to them. Don't drop them unless they deserve to be dropped. Wan-Bissaka right back, obviously Vicente in goal, who saved us 3 points, I believe, with that save at the back post against Arsenal. Dan Kelly, brilliant against Arsenal, don't change it. And Joel Ward left back, don't change it. I know Van Arnold was probably able to play, but put him on the bench, show him that your position is in doubt. Stick, and at home as well, give him a game at home, Joel Ward. He'll get the backing of the fans. Play Joel Ward at left back. Go. There's nothing to lose now. We're safe. Go for it. He's on form. Play him. I'd probably go the same midfield four, but I've got a feeling that Roy's going to drop out Maya because out of all the players, he probably had the least influential game against Arsenal, which is a shame. I still think he's a top talent and we should be playing him as much as possible, but I feel like Roy is going to drop him out. I feel like he'll put Zaha at right wing and have him and Townsend on the flanks, Chiarte and Milivojevic, of course. That means dropping MacArthur, obviously, for Townsend, who's been rested. I feel like bringing him back in is the right move. And then having Batshuayi and Benteke up front. I think Batshuayi got dropped as well for good reason because he's dropped off recently and he's not been the biggest hit of a loan signing as we would have hoped. Scored some good goals, of course, but not as many goals as we were really expecting him to. I think now's a good chance, now that we're safe, to just, for the rest of his loan spell, have him up top with Benteke, have that Belgian connection up front, see what happens. If not, keep him on the bench. I don't think many fans will be too unhappy with that. Start Zaha with him up front and, put Maka in at right mid again because he can play there and he did well against Arsenal as well. Got the goal. Harsh for him to be dropped, of course. So that's how I see us lining up. As I said, we've got to look to do similar to Arsenal, being very compact in defence, but looking to be very, very good going forward. I know it's a very similar sort of preview I do each week in terms of Palace, but that's the way we play. But what I mean when I say to be more attacking against Everton and to go for it is to just have a higher line, to be pressing a bit more, and to do exactly what we did against Arsenal, just rattle them. Be clinical when we're going forward, have bodies going forward. Be confident. Don't worry about our home form. We're safe now. The fans will be behind you. Just go forward and make a good impression of it and show steps for what could happen next season. I know we always say it, what happens next season. And of course, I will be doing videos at the end of the season addressing transfer rumours and also, the typical stuff. Where do we go next season? My favourite goals, etc., etc. There'll be a lot of videos coming up at the end of the season. And there will be videos, of course, on the whole Zaha transfer saga, kits, things like that. So there'll be a lot of videos to come, guys, addressing it, because I realise there's been a little drop off on content, mainly because of lack of vlogs as well, and I apologise for that. But that's my thoughts on the Everton game. Of course, going to be a tough game because Everton's run of form. I'm predicting a 3-1 Palace win. Go bold or go home, 3-1 Palace win. Let me know your predictions down below. If you agree with what I said as well, comment below if you don't. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the lineup, how you think we should approach the game, your thoughts on the channel as well, any content you'd like me to make for you guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. Always love to interact with you guys in the comments. Of course, please like the video. Please share it as well. Get it out to as many Palace fans as we can. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Fingers crossed that we can get the win against Everton at the weekend to keep this amazing run going. And top 10 is definitely within our reach.